right, Gina, thanks so much. Agencies that are supposed to be protecting at-risk kids are not communicating with each other. That is according to lawmakers looking into why kids are falling through the cracks and ending up murdered.
Yeah, a state senator is calling a Department of Child Safety stakeholder meeting at the Capitol to identify problems and look for some solutions. Now, this has come to a head following the murders of 3 kids. 14-year-old Emily Pike, 16-year-old Zariah Dodd, and 10-year-old Rebecca Baptiste. We spoke to State Senator Corrine Warner, who wants to address issues in the system during a joint legislative oversight committee on DCS next month. She says there are a long list of flaws, including how suspected cases of abuse are reported to the agency and which reports warrant investigations.
Whatever that threshold or protocol was, clearly there was a problem here, and whoever was receiving those calls and seeing if that was something they were going to go investigate missed something very big here. There's currently not a sharing of information between the tribe, CPS, and DCS, which is one of our goals that we hope to attain.
Last year, the legislature passed a bill that was supposed to tie in child protection policies. In that bill, it said that DCS was required to submit reports to state lawmakers, but Warner says that her office has not received one of those reports. And all new this morning, child advocacy organization leaders are echoing those concerns and pointing to issues in the state welfare system.
Reporting is critical to saving victims of child abuse, and leaders say the language in the reports can really be a matter of life or death. So this morning we want to check in live with Elena, who is joining us at the state capitol to explain the push for this change. Elena, good morning.
Good morning. Well, there were multiple reports at DCS about young girls being murdered at the hands of child abuse, but leaders at one organization tell me that the reporting process likely failed these girls and potentially more Arizona children. I spoke to leaders at the child welfare organization Childhelp, who is a nonprofit that aims to prevent child abuse. They tell me there are many regulations and thresholds in place for a child abuse report to turn into an investigation. Childhelp's Michael Maduro says if a report does not have very specific and statutory language, there will not be any action taken in the case.
It's a wake-up call for that very reason. Until we start reforming the thresholds for what language looks like to report abuse, until we start improving and overhauling how we are providing oversight, especially to group homes, until we start taking a look at how we are going to be able to support looking at cases and reports of abuse more from a pattern perspective and less from an isolated incident perspective, until we start taking these action steps, we are going to continue to see the headlines that you're seeing today.
I reached out to the Department of Child Safety for comment, but did not get a response. Maduro tells me that they do not want the community to lose faith in the process of child abuse reports because organizations like Childhelp heavily help with that process to make sure that it leads to action. So coming up at 6, I'm going to tell you why it's still very important to know how to make a child abuse report and what organizations to reach out to make sure that it is effective in the next hour, guys.
Elena, thank you so much.